Oh, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Never Failing. I'm bringing you some more COD Ghost commentary. We back on Sovereign. Actually, this might be the first gameplay I've uploaded off of Sovereign. I'm not sure. But playing some domination. I believe I'm using the Vector. This is some older gameplay, but I'm trying to get rid of the older stuff before I start bringing in the shit from where I prestiged already and stuff. But you never know. Been getting quite a few pretty solid gameplay, so that allows me to be a little more selective in what I'm uploading than what I normally would. I'll keep the other shit on the back burner in case this game finally makes me lose it and I quit playing it. Anywho, there's an echo. I'm sorry. I'm sitting in my car doing this. People are still awake at the house and don't want to get interrupted. But topic of conversation for today. Sound whoring. You know I touched on this in my ways this game caters to campers, but we're going to hit it up real big time for the most part. You're going to hear me bitch about it and watch this shit. Yep. You deserve to die, never fail. But yeah, that's why you come out of spawn right there. Sound whoring. You know, Black Ops 1, Ninja Pro, you could hear people. It wasn't great, but it was better than it was in Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2, I believe it was awareness and, of course, dead silence. Tried, comboing those both up. It didn't really make a damn difference. Sound was not that great, which is not a bad thing. Mind you, I'm not... And look at this shit. This dude was terrible. And so was the guy that ran right past him, me. But sound wasn't that great in either of the Black Ops games, and I can't really remember sound in the first two, or the World of War or Call of Duty 4. I never tried to really sound whore in there. I didn't really play with a gaming headset at that time for the most part. But sound whoring now, and the reason I chose to do this video now is I've played a little more Black Ops 2 since I've played Ghost, because one of my buddies, Murky Man, he really fucking hates this game. So try to jump on Black Ops 2. I can't do it too much though, and I got a whole nother video for that. That's why I don't want to play Black Ops 2 right now. But trying to go from this back to that, and it definitely is a lot more challenging. Not being able to pretty much hear where everybody is fucking coming from, and I'm hoping that dude just spawned in. But not being able to hear where everybody's at when they're running up on you from quite a good distance away definitely makes the game more challenging. And anything that makes the game less challenging, such as being able to sound whore like a boss thanks to outstanding footstep noise, but anything that makes the game less challenging can be viewed as a crutch, in my opinion. And I did a video talking about the stock attachment and how I felt that was a crutch for your worst players. How it is definitely a crutch for them when compared to people who aren't using it. So we'll kind of stick to that same subject way of thinking. Subjective way of thinking here being that if you're using Amplify against people who are not using dead silence, and even when they are using dead silence, you can still hear them. But if you're using Amplify, and there's a great IED kill. But if you're using Amplify against people who are not using dead silence, it's pretty much fucking unfair. Let's be honest, it is absolutely 100% unfair. So it forces, as I get destroyed by that dog, it forces you to use dead silence. In all honesty, if you're playing anybody in the lobby using Amplify, it forces you to use dead silence. And for me personally, I'm not going to lie, dead silence is on every one of my classes. There's 4 standard perks on every class I have, which pretty much eats up most of the points. And I think they're all necessary, personally. I don't believe any of them I feel comfortable playing without, which the 4 of those are Marathon. It's a rusher's perk, man. I love that perk. I love not having to stop sprinting. Plus, it's very helpful whenever you're in a bad situation. If you can actually avoid them, get around that corner when normally you couldn't, or playing Dom when you're trying to defend and cap flags. Oh, sorry, I was yawning. But yeah, Marathon, dead silence. Obviously, that's a fucking must-have. I'm not gonna have people sound horn me left and right, even though it still fucking happens. I'm not gonna deal with it. Amplify, yeah, because I like to get my own sound whore on because it makes it much easier. I was having a much more difficult time playing Black Ops 2 after having gotten so used to being able to sound whore. I was getting shot from behind and shit all over again, you know. And it was much more frustrating because I couldn't hear them coming. And I've kind of gotten used to that. So there's the whole crutch aspect to it. And then focus. Focus is just like toughness. It's a must-have. I don't give a fuck what gun I'm using. Unless I'm using a gun that I am 100% pretty much going to, well, I'd say 99% of the time going to hit fire like a shotgun. I'm going to use focus. It's just how it's going to be. But yeah, those 4 perks, mainstays on any of my classes. So, get back into the topic of sound horn. Like I said, if you're using Amplify and somebody is not using Dead Silence, it is completely unfair to them. And they say, well, the counter's in the game. No, the counter's not in the game because I used Dead Silence on every class and I was playing against a dude that was right around a 2 KD player rocking Amplify. He killed me a few times, and I always like to watch the kill cams in certain situations just to see how they knew where I was coming from, and I can hear myself clear as day. So the big benefit of using Dead Silence when you're using Amplify for me is not to hear my own footsteps, and I can only hear theirs and teammates. But it's no different than how somebody with stock strafing is going to be able to maintain their aim easier, which makes the game easier, which makes it less challenging. It's no different. Anybody that can hear somebody coming makes it much easier for them to pinpoint an enemy's location as opposed to spawn knowledge, map awareness, and teammates location versus where the enemy's going to spawn. And I think that makes it a crutch. It makes it much easier as that sniper gets panic knifed. At least I think he was sniping. I may have been wrong. But it makes it much easier for a average player to do better. And you know, I consider myself an average to slightly above average player, but I'm rocking, I think now, thanks to Christmas Noobs, like a 1.46, which if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to go back and look at Call of Duty 4 and World at War. But if I'm not mistaken, that's my highest KD in any game, Call of Duty wise, ever. So that lets you know right there that the ability to sound whore, because I didn't really know how to sound whore when I was playing MW3. I was still learning it. I didn't have a $240 fucking headset for it, as I don't know what the fuck killed me there. I really have no fucking clue. Yeah, you combine Amplify with a great headset and people not wearing Dead Silence, and it absolutely becomes OP as a motherfucker. And nothing anybody can say is going to ever convince me that the sound should be this good. I love it when I'm, sound whoring somebody. I'm not going to sit here and fucking front about that. I absolutely love it. But it makes it too easy to pinpoint enemy locations. And it makes it much more challenging for somebody to be rewarded for pulling off a nice flank. I mean, say I pull a nice flank route. I've pretty much got you dead to rights any other time. But you heard me coming. that is bullshit, and it makes it where you have an unfair advantage because you might be able to afford a headset. Maybe not everybody can afford a headset. Some people might not be able to drop $200 something or $150 or whatever it might be on a quality headset that allows them to be able to hear very well. So it's pretty damn frustrating. I remember when Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 1 came out, because that's when I got into it, and I watched a lot of videos then. A lot of people complaining about the sound, trying to say, well, it's not my fault that they can't afford a headset. Yeah, but it's kind of fucked up on Infinity Ward's fault, or, Treyarch's fault, either one, to make it where a gaming headset creates such a distinct advantage. I mean, I can live with a gaming headset and allowing you to hear somebody reloading or hear silent shots better. But when it makes it that fucking easy to pinpoint the exact location of an enemy, not just, the general direction of which they're at, but I mean absolutely pinpoint them. Because I've sound hoard motherfuckers from like halfway across the map, it seems, and just run them down and stop every so often and listen, and then hear them. And It fucking blows my mind that that is even possible. Like this guy right here, absolutely had sound whored the death out of him. I fucking heard him back there, so I was just waiting for him to show up. And as soon as he shows up, I shoot his ass. I mean, come on. How is that fair to him? How is that not a crutch for me? And if you don't believe it, if you don't believe it's really a crutch, take off dead silence, take off amplify, and play that way. Just play, say, 10 games and see how that, works out against your normal that you have, your average 10 games. See how all this shit works out for you. And let me know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not a crutch and maybe it's just a nice little bonus. But I personally feel it's a crutch, and I'm not against leaning on that motherfucker myself. Do it all day, every day, twice on Sunday. I got destroyed and it wasn't a panic knife. I'm impressed. Anyway, that's the end of the gameplay. I think the final score was 40-something and 11 or some shit. First 40-kill game I actually had on this game, so I was proud of that one. Yeah, those guys sucked. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it.